Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome back to the Agostinho Zinga Show with your host, Agostinho Zinga, and this is episode number 868. That is Ocho Says Ocho of the Agostinho Zinga Show. We're coming at you live and direct from an undisclosed location somewhere within the depths of East London. Hope you're doing well, hope you're doing good. Wherever this lovely podcast and stream may find you, I hope you are doing swimmingly. How am I? All good, all things considered. Hence why I'm enunciating my words extra hard. Because United won the other day, didn't they? United won the other day against Bucharest, who are now go by the name of FCSB. Not the greatest game in the world, but we got over the line. I fell asleep in the first half, kinda. It picked up a little bit in the second half, which I enjoyed. So I'll be covering a little bit of that on here, of course, and some other bits and pieces. So strap on in, hang on out, and let's enjoy ourselves. Talking about enjoying ourselves, talking about enjoying oneself, talking about enjoying oneself. We need to, we must, we have to, we need to, we must, and we have to cover a little bit of the Weeknd's album. We have to talk about it, man. The Weeknd dropped a stellar album, Hurry Up Tomorrow. Dropped it the other day. It got pushed back release date because of the LA wildfires. I think it was meant to come out a couple of weeks ago. He pushed it back 2 weeks, and it's still slaps. Absolutely amazing body of work. It's becoming a little bit hard to figure out what's the best trilogy. This trilogy with the last three, with like Dawn and the other one I forgot the name of, or is it a trilogy with House of Balloons? I'm not too sure, because the House of Balloons era, right, when the Weeknd was on coke and smashing all the models, or specifically Bella Hadid and shit, that was an epic era. Some of the music that came out of that basically defined modern R&B, modern pop. And for the most part, a lot of artists basically framed their entire career off of the sound that he created in those early mixtapes, those albums, that trilogy. Absolutely incredible sound. Even just the imagery, the aesthetic. It kind of, if anything, that House of Balloons era, I feel like encapsulated the Tumblr era. You know, when people were like obsessed with like skinny white girls from like LA, people were wearing their jeans rolled up slightly, people had that flipping effect on flipping Instagram that they put on their pictures. That was a great flipping time. This is also pre-pandemic as well, so you can imagine how great the world was. But I can't lie, I think this new trilogy that he has now, this brand spanking new trilogy, is up there in terms of competing for what I think might be the best trilogy so far when it comes to the Weeknd. It is absolutely crazy good. Like his discography, this guy's discography, when it's all said and done, how's the Weeknd? The Weeknd must be like, he must be like his mid-30s, right? The Weeknd, what is he, mid-30s, early 20s? I mean late 20s, yeah, he's 34. The Weeknd's discography, when it's all said and done, the Weeknd discography is absolutely crazy when you think about it. For a 34-year-old to have the albums that he has underneath his belt is insane. Think about the House of Balloons trilogy. You've got House of Balloons, Thursday, and Echoes of Silence. And then you got Hurry Up Tomorrow, you got Dawn, and the one before that where he kind of takes his mask off. Honestly, so freaking good. So, Hurry Up for Tomorrow, again, incredible body of work. What is it, like 22 tracks? It's an hour and 20 minutes. You know how I am, and I'm super picky with how long albums are. I don't mind how long this is. I don't freaking care. I could take another hour. I could take 2 hours of the Weeknd. I could take 3 hours of hits from the Weeknd. No pause. Give me 5 hours. Give me 6 hours of back-to-back flipping Weeknd hits, and I'm taking it straight to the flipping face. He is so good. I think the start of this album might be some of the strongest let's say 4-track intro I've ever seen on a recent album. Honestly, the first 4 tracks of this album are like non-skips. If you skip them, there's something wrong with you. No, the first 4 tracks are so flipping good. The track Sao Paulo with flipping Anita, what a great way to flipping end that fucking 4 trilogy. He does his own version of like Brazilian funk, right? He's his own version of Brazilian funk, and it's absolutely incredible to listen to. What an incredible body of work. But you know what's my favorite tune? Everyone's talking about Cry For Me. Everyone's talking about Can't Fucking Sing. Everyone's talking about Open Hearts. Everyone's talking about Reflections, Laughing with Travis Scott, one of his better features. Everyone's talking about, obviously, Timeless is a fucking amazing track. Everyone's talking about a track with Future. There's a track here with Future. I forgot which one it is, but there's a track here with Future. It's not marked, right? But there's a track here with Future. It's fucking fire. But you know what's really good in this flipping album? It's an interlude. Honestly, I've been looping this interlude all flipping weekend since I've been listening to this album, and it's track number 8, Opening Night. Oh, I don't know why. Maybe it sounds like I take it literally. Maybe it sounds like an opening night of a movie, opening night of a gallery, opening night of whatever, of a gala somewhere. It sounds like he somehow synthesized and encapsulate the sound, the aesthetics, the smells, the ambience, the people, the smooching, the air kisses. It's all been distilled, you know, and beep beep boop 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 inserted into some flipping music making, you know, app program, and then bang, you spat that out. Opening Night. That might be my favorite track on the album. It's an interlude. It's about 1 minute 20 seconds long or something, but I've had it on loop for ages. I might even do a little edit. I might even go into flipping GarageBand and try and make an extended edit of Opening Night, so it just loops and loops and loops effortlessly, because it's such a fucking vibe. Honestly, close my eyes, listen to that when I'm cycling, and I flipping think I'm floating above the earth. It is so freaking good. The Weeknd killed it. Again, 10 out of 10 album. I think the tour's gonna go off now. Even though, you know, we all know how amazing he is performing live. He showed that recently with that concert he did in Brazil. But I think now that people have heard this album, they are going to be so excited to hear and see him perform these tracks live, especially Cry For Me. Imagine when he fucking performs Cry For Me and everyone's been crying for him and crying along to the album. I think even Wake Me Up in general, in terms of the start of an album, he starts off incredibly good. It's almost, Wake Me Up kind of sounds like, it's almost a Michael Jackson thrillerish, if it makes any sense. It starts off with an immediate bop, no flipping waiting, no fucking smooth intro, no crazy, you know, whatever, just comes in straight with a hit. And then from the rest of the album, you're just flipping bopping, you're skipping your feet, and if anything, if it kind of mellows out towards the end, so you know, which is really good. He kind of give you all the hits and it mellows out towards the end. Timeless still sounds incredible, by the way, with Playboy Carti, one of his maybe greatest, you know, guest feature verses of all time. But Jesus Christ, man. Opening Night, track number 8. I'm all over it. I'm all over it. Check it out. The Weeknd, Hurry Up Tomorrow. Available now on all digital streaming platforms. Legitimately one of my favorite albums that's already released this year. It's been a strong year so far. You know, we've had a flipping Bad Bunny album drop and a few other pieces here and there. It's been a really flipping good year so far for music. And I'm hoping we get some more stuff towards the end of the year. But it's flipping looking good. It's flipping looking good. Moving on. Can we talk a little bit about the horrible, unfortunate, tragic crash that happened in Washington, D.C.? The airplane crash. Fucking crazy, man. So, from what I've been able to pass online, it's looking more and more that it might be likely that this wasn't an accident and it was deliberate on the side of the person who was flying the helicopter. Because there was an army helicopter that came in that collided with an airplane. The airplane did nothing wrong. It was actually on descent, if I'm not mistaken. That's actually even more tragic. The airplane was about to land. That's what makes it even more tragic. The airplane was about to land in Washington, D.C. For whatever reason, in that particular area, that particular airplane was carrying a bunch of like kids. So loads of young people passed away. They all happened to be like ice skaters and shit. I think there was some sort of event, something happening in that area for ice skating. So a bunch of really, really adorable, beautiful, talented young people passed away in such a tragic flipping way. They're confirming that everybody basically confirmed has passed away, including the people on the plane, the staff, and everybody on the helicopter. I think last time I checked, it was like 66 people passed away. So RIP to every single person. I've seen some clips of people who did pass away, their family, talking about them in the news. And it's been really tragic to watch people essentially try to gather themselves and speak really glowingly about their son, daughter, whoever, and then have the callous news media trying to flip and grill them and ask them really personal questions when they still come into grips with the death of a close family member like that is absolutely disgusting. But, you know, mainstream media, they're going to mainstream media. Anyway, the interesting development in this is the person who people are saying is allegedly at fault for this. So I'm going to give you a bit of the background of what happened, and then we're going to go on to what Trump said. And again, I don't like to get overly political on this particular podcast because I don't really know much about politics. And I definitely don't like talking about American politics. I don't live there and it's none of my business. But I found his response to this whole thing very interesting and perturbing in a way. So let's actually check this out. Courtesy of the BBC. What we know so far about the Washington DC plane crash. So this gives us a quick synopsis overview of what happened. 67, okay, I said 66. So now updated, it says 67 people are believed to have died after a passenger plane hit a military helicopter midair near Washington DC's Ronald Reagan Airport. I think it was the other way around. From what I've seen, it looks like it's the other way around. It looks like the helicopter hit the plane, you know? But again, semantics. RIP to everybody that passed away. It's not clear what caused the crash. Flight tracking data appears to suggest the helicopter was flying above the permitted altitude minutes before the collision, but an investigation is continuing to determine what went wrong. Authorities have recovered the flight data recorders from the American Airlines jet and continue to find bodies in the icy Potomac River where the plane fell. And obviously the river also was incredibly cold. I think the weather that day also was very, very hazardous. So even if somebody did survive, it would be near and impossible for rescue to get there in time. But I had seen the latest update is that they have found the black box for the helicopter. So the helicopter black box has been found. So they found a black box for the plane and the helicopter. So I'm assuming sometime soon we will have an account of what exactly happened. The plane, a Bombardier CRJ 700, had traveled from Wichita, Kansas. It was operating as American Airlines Flight 5342. The U.S. Army helicopter was a Sikorsky H-60 Black Hawk that took from Fort Belvoir in Virginia and belonged to B Company 12th Aviation Battalion. The helicopter appears to have been flying above the permitted altitude according to analysis. We continue. Jesus Christ, look at the plane. That's what it's meant to look like, and look at the wreckage. God almighty. The wreckage, records of the air traffic control conversation published online just that the controller tried to warn the helicopter about the American Airlines plane the seconds before the collision. The helicopter pilot appeared to respond to confirm that they were aware of the plane, but moments later the two aircrafts hit each other. Transport Secretary Sean Duffy also said he thought the helicopter was aware of the plane nearby. Listen to the air traffic controller seemingly directing the helicopter to avoid the plane. Okay, trigger warning for anybody listening. This is the air controller trying to get the attention of the helicopter pilot. Thirty seconds later. God almighty. Jesus Christ. Joining Duffy at the briefing on Thursday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth added that the helicopter was on an annual proficiency flight, performing a night evaluation, and the crew had night vision goggles. The collision happened at about 9 p.m. local time as the plane approached Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. One eyewitness, Ari Schulman, told NBC News, I wonder where he's from. I wonder where Ari Schulman's from. Told NBC Washington that the plane's approach looked normal until he saw it bank hard to the right with streams of sparks running underneath the aircraft, illuminating the belly, which he believed to look very, very wrong. Another eyewitness, Jimmy Mazio, recalled seeing what looked like a white flare in the sky. He remarked that the planes approaching the airport appeared to have been flying in irregular patterns. Blah, 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 blah. You got the path there. After the impact, the passenger plane broke into multiple pieces and sank several feet into the river, while the helicopter ended up on the upside down in the water. Hundreds of first responders on rubber boats were deployed to search for survivors. Officials highlighted the challenging conditions in which they were working due to the ice floating on the freezing cold river and contending with the plane wreckers. Jesus Christ. They later said that they did not expect to find any survivors and had changed the focus to a mission to focus on recovering bodies. Oh my God. Details are emerging about the 64 people who were on board of the plane, who include top figure skaters as well as 4 crew members. Meanwhile, the helicopter was carrying 3 soldiers. 41 bodies have been recovered, including 3 people who were flying on the US military helicopter, emergency officials told BBC. The people known to be on the flight include skaters, a young pilot, flight attendant, and a lawyer traveling home on their birthday. God almighty. They comprise of a range of nationalities, and several of them have been identified by family members and organizations. Among the skaters were 6 people linked to a club in Boston. They were 2 teenagers, their mothers, and 2 Russian coaches, Evgenia Shishkova and Vadim Naumov, who were former world champions on their sport, the club said. Jesus Christ. Former ice skating world champions. Wow. How sad. This is one kid called Spencer Lane who passed away. Doing some spins here. Jesus Christ, bro. RIP to him. Gina Han, as you can hear. Wow. Jesus Christ, so freaking sad. And this is the Evgenia Shishkova and Vadim Naumov. I think these are the former world champions, right? This is a bit older, this footage. Jesus Christos, man. It's so sad. We're watching footage of them just pirouetting and doing their thing during an event back in the day. Looks like sometime in the 90s or something. It continues. The plane's captain, Campos, was named by his aunt, who told the New York Times that flying planes has been his nephew's lifelong dream. Ryan O'Hara was the crew chief of the helicopter, according to CBS. Cool. What's the latest investigation? It remains unclear what caused the crash. So, it remains unclear what caused the crash, right? Well, not according to Donald Trump. Donald Trump came out and said something kind of wild, and I thought kind of reckless, and really the opposite of like bringing the country together. And, you know, again, not my business what goes on in American politics, and I don't really have an opinion on the guy or the parties over there. But one thing that's always been really interesting to me, him as a leader, him as a president, is his inability or refusal his inability or refusal when given the opportunity to try and bring the country together, especially during a tragedy. Immediately, even if he's right with what he's saying, the title says Trump sparks outcry with implication that DEI policies are at fault in a DC midair collision. Even if it is true that the DEI policies may have contributed to this pilot being, you know, fast-tracked, given a job, that person then maybe had undiagnosed, unflipping addressed mental health issues that may have driven them to do what they did. If that's true, what people are alleging on social media, surely this isn't the time to do it while the bodies are still being pulled out from the river, right? Even if it's true, surely now is not the time to say this while people's bodies are being pulled out of a fucking icy river. Kids, young adults, people just living, moving and doing their thing. Surely this isn't the time to do it. Surely you'd want to try and bring the country together, especially off the back of, like, you know, what's been happening this past 12 months or so. You'd want that to happen, but he doesn't. Instead, he immediately goes for the culture war type of argument, immediately becomes divisive, and basically implies that the reason why this happened was because the person that was flying the army helicopter wasn't competent. And they weren't competent because they were hired under DEI policies, which a lot of Republicans feel like is been detrimental to the success of America and to the smooth running of certain organizations and whatever it may be. So let's hear Trump say it with his own mouth, courtesy of NBC. He's so mad. He's crazy, man. Jesus Christ. Oh shit, sorry. Oh, well, you can't hear it. Cool. My bad. Apologies. Apologies. I thought you could hear this. Apologies. Let me put the sound on.
Tonight, in a White House news conference that began with a somber moment of silence, President Trump pivoting from prayer.
I speak to you this morning in an hour of anguish for our nation.
To politics.
I put safety first. Obama, Biden, and the Democrats put policy first.
He's a mad guy,
Suggesting
man.
without evidence that Democratic DEI policies at the FAA and military, which President Trump ended last week with an executive order, may have contributed to the midair collision.
We have to have our smartest people. It doesn't matter what they look like, how they speak, who they are. It matters intellect, talent.
At one point, going after Biden Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
Just got a good line of bullshit. He's run it right into the ground with his diversity.
But reporters pressing the president. What evidence did he have that diversity hiring caused the crash?
It just could have been.
And later, as he signed an order to review FAA hiring decisions the last 4 years.
Are you saying race or gender played a role in this tragedy?
It may have. I don't know. Incompetence might have played a role. We'll let you know that.
The president echoed by the vice president and defense secretary.
We want the best people at air traffic control. The era of DEI is gone at the Defense Department.
But the comments sparking fierce backlash. Buttigieg posting, despicable. As families grieve, Trump should be leading, not lying. We put safety first. The top Senate Democrat responding.
For the President of the United States to throw out idle speculation as bodies are still being recovered and families still being notified. It just turns your stomach.
The president also naming a new acting FAA administrator today. That position had been vacant since Inauguration Day.
Honestly, man, he is a wild guy. I don't know. It could be. Like, are you allowed to say that as a president? Are you allowed to just throw out hunches? Surely that should be like for podcasters, for YouTubers, for political pundits, random people on social media. We should be throwing out hunches. But surely a president just come out and says, I have a feeling. Maybe. It could be. You never know. I think his actual word, I think he said something like a feeling. I think he said feeling or like a hunch. Something like that, or in the press conference. So the sad thing about this is that that's obviously, you know, tragic and horrible. But there's also a part of me that thinks, as reckless as he's being, if he's a president, maybe he's seen something that we haven't seen. Maybe he's privy to some sort of information, because on social media now, people are sharing the identity of the pilot who was flying that army helicopter. And people are suggesting that the identity alleged of this pilot who flew an army helicopter, because that person they're alleging was trans, I think from male to female, from male to female, people are suggesting, especially Republicans, because they think being transgender is some sort of mental health issue, they're suggesting that may have contributed to this tragic accident. That maybe this person was going through some sort of mental health episode. I think they found their social media and they found that they were ranting and raving about Trump and had maybe, you know, Trump derangement syndrome that people kind of talk about. So that's the kind of thing that they're pointing towards. And I'm not close to the idea that that could be true. Fair enough, that could be true. This person could be responsible for doing it, and it could be intentional. It could have been like a weird, you know, unaliving type of situation. But I just think it's just widely inappropriate, given the time, given what's happened. Like literally in the moment, like after it happened, you're coming out on social media, coming out on press conference, essentially dividing the nation, turning up the notch, turning up the flames of the culture war, fanning the flames of the culture war, and just kind of dividing people when you should be bringing people together. And then obviously like clockwork, that Philadelphia crash happens, you know, and it's like, brother, man, when are people gonna ever get a chance to kind of come together and kind of mend? At least with the Philadelphia thing, you could see, I think people that lived there basically were, you know, putting their sleeves up and helping each other. That was a pretty encouraging thing to see. The Philadelphia plane just kind of dropped out of the sky and landed in the middle of, like, you know, a residential area, and a bunch of people died. I think it was a medical plane. And the really encouraging thing to see, even though the videos are really hard to watch and super crazy, you're seeing this massive fucking plane blow up and people screaming in the background. One thing that was quite cool to see about the Philadelphia thing is people running towards the flames. You see so many people like literally running towards the flames, trying to help their fellow citizens and shit. who live in Philadelphia. So that was nice to see. So maybe, you know, the good thing to come out of this is that even though the person, the leader of that country, is a little bit selfish, is a little bit divisive, doesn't seem to enjoy bringing the country together, you know, prefers to only speak to his base. At least people in everyday life are helping each other despite, you know, whatever they voted for, despite their nationality, race, whatever color, creed, religion. They are all kind of putting their sleeves up and helping each other when need be. That's a good thing, you know. That's what you like to see. It'd be nice if the leader of the country could actually help and do that and steer the boat, but Trump's too busy pointing fingers and blaming DEI for everything, for all the ills of the world. DEI, 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 which is fucking incredible. But that's what happened. That's what happened there. So again, thoughts and feelings and prayers go out to everybody that passed away in that tragic Washington DC crash. It's really, really horrible. It's really, really, really horrible. Let's continue. So we need to talk a little bit about Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor going flipping crazy. Conor McGregor goes off on Khabib, including using the N-word. Yeah, he used the N-word. Conor, I don't know if he's got a pass to say this. I don't know if he's got friends from the hood. I don't know if he got jumped in somewhere. I don't know if it's been co-signed. Whatever happened, Conor went off crazy and said the following on his social media. Twitter to be exact. Conor McGregor, the notorious MMA. 15 minutes, I done Aldo seconds. 15 seconds. Show your wife, N-word. Show your kids, N-word. Cousin fucking motherfucking hiding motherfucker. Show us you and your cousin's kids together, because we have kids here in Ireland that want to smoke them in competition. Are they competing or what are you? I'm sorry, but that is, if ever there's a coke-filled rant, if ever someone's on the packets, if ever someone's on the booze, if ever someone's on a couple E's, this is what you see. Jesus Christos. I'm just surprised your spelling is pretty decent. Are they competing? What are you saying? Ireland v Dagestan. Where's your offspring? We can't wait to see them. The best of Dagestan offspring? Dagestan, what do we think? Is this true? Who's next? Because Fatso with the coach whistle won't fight. He's calling Khabib a Fatso with a coach whistle. It's hilarious. Who the fuck designated this fat bitch as master father? Certainly not his own father. Abdul Manap. Abdul Manap. Jesus Christ. And they all know it in Dagestan. Dagestan think you're a pussy lips for retiring. Rule Dagestan is forever. You are laughed at behind your back in Dagestan. Lazy you are, they say. Fight me and make $100 million and give it to the entire village of Dagestan. But you won't. Why? Fat, lazy, scared bitch. Lazy fatso. So, Conor still, I don't think, has got over the loss to Khabib. That's true. We know that to be obvious. I think this is also in part because there was a fight that happened in the PFL with one of Khabib's fighters and like a Northern Irish guy. And a Northern Irish guy really took Khabib's fighter to the end, right? They went blow for blow, you know, grapple for grapple, wrestling for wrestling towards the real end, towards the real flipping end. And Khabib was impressed by that guy, impressed by how he carried himself and his fighting ability. And Khabib went out of his way to say, you're a real Irishman. This is real Irishman here, basically insinuating that Conor isn't, because he was respectful, he was a good fighter, and he kind of, you know, left everybody kind of impressed and shit. So I think Conor saw or heard that, and this is why he responded in this way. But I think the underlying menace and the reason why he's dropping loads of N-bombs, I think, is in part because of that loss against Khabib. That loss against Khabib has broken him. Literally broken him. Like, Conor's never going to be the same. Never going to be the same. As this person has says on social media here, no amount of Peruvian flake, no amount of Cali top shelf grade, no amount of Rolex and AP watches, no amount of supercars and yachts, no amount of women and showgirls will ever heal Conor McGregor from what happened in the octagon on October 6, 2018. And I forgot it was that long ago. I forgot it was October 6, 2018. The world was a completely different place then. A completely different place. And Conor, for whatever reason, has never recovered from this loss. He has never truly recovered from this loss. And as a big Conor fan, this loss broke me because I didn't know how good Khabib was. So to see Khabib drop Conor with a punch, because we all thought, oh, Khabib's going to go there. Because I think he did it on purpose, by the way. I think Khabib did it on purpose to like beat him up with striking. I think he could have just fucked him, you know, could have ended the match early from just wrestling and ground and pound. But he purposely wanted to beat him up with striking to kind of show that, no, I'm the better fighter. Doesn't matter if we're standing up or on the ground. I'm the boss. I'm the captain. I'm the dango gang. And he proved it. And I remember seeing that first punch, that first like looping overhand right hook thing that hit Conor and wobbled him, which then sent, you know, Khabib into overdrive. His eyes opened up. He was so excited. When he landed that punch, he was so happy. He saw Conor drop and immediately went to the ground. And then from then on, it was fucking over. And what made it worse, right? What made it worse was, I think there's a clip here where I can find it. What made it worse is this clip here that features Conor getting absolutely pummeled by Khabib. But if I'm not mistaken, Khabib is like talking to him the entire time. That's what happens on the close-up. He's talking to the guy the entire time it happens. So I wonder, let me actually mute that. Let me mute that and pause it because UFC are fucking crazy when it comes to copyright strikes. I don't want to get copyright striked here. So the entire time Khabib's on top of this guy, pummeling him. He's talking to him. He's saying, huh? Look what he's saying. He's talking to Conor the entire time. He's getting absolutely demolished and getting elbows and punches directly to his face. He's absolutely talking to him coherently the entire time. Huh? What happened? He says to him as Conor's on the back, let's talk now. Let's talk now while he's in full, well, not full mount, but, you know, basically. And he's absolutely destroying Conor on the ground. Conor's trying to avoid the blows. He's like, let's talk. He's getting forearm smashes, elbow smashes, all to his fucking face. Conor's desperately trying to get up and he can't. He's drowning. Khabib's grappling is just too good. He's smashing him, smashing him, smashing him, smashing him the entire freaking time. And I think that loss, the brutality of it, the violence of it, the domination of it, the one-sided nature of it, broke Conor, which is why we get these crazy tweets. I think that's why we get these crazy tweets, because that particular situation absolutely broke Conor. This is why he's saying all these crazy things to Khabib and essentially trying to rile him up, trying to press his buttons so that he agrees to another fight, because I don't know what he thinks. I don't know what Conor thinks. I don't think Father Time is going to be kind to him. I don't think that would be a bad thing to do anyway. Even if he did bait Khabib into fighting him again, I think it would end the same way. It would be probably worse because he said so much stuff since that time that Khabib would go out of his way to really, really hurt him. So I'm not too sure what Conor is trying to get out of this, but I don't think it's going to go the way he thinks it's going to go if he tries to bait Khabib back into fighting him. It's not going to go where he wants to go.
When I catch his neck and I choke him, like he tap, you know, it's like, and I think, hey, you bring like thousands of people from Ireland here on different part of world, and you tap in front of them, like, and you talk about like about warrior or something like this. How you can tap? Go sleep. Go sleep.
That's that real warrior shit. How you can tap? Go sleep. If you're a real warrior, how can you tap? Go sleep. Never a truer word has been said. So that might be the reason why Conor is acting that way. That might be the reason. Big up Khabib. Big up Conor to some certain extent. You know, he's acting crazy, but I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. In a way, I get it. Do I get it really? I don't really get it, I don't think. You can't ever get it. It must be a strange place to be in. You know what I mean? You think like you have so much to give still in fighting, but you're out here antagonizing people, being flipping crazy and acting like an absolute psycho. So I think, you know, we have to kind of just hope and pray that it gets better sometime soon. But will it? I doubt it. Will it? I freaking doubt it. You know what I mean? But we have to hope. We have to hope. So next, talking about hope, there's a situation here that's occurring with this actress that is not very hopeful. Let's just say that. There's this actress who's going through an absolute hailstorm of an issue, courtesy of a Twitter account. I'm not sure if you know this lady. Her name is Karla Sofía Gascón. a trans lady who starred in a movie called Emilia Perez, which is about a cartel member who transitioned. That's what it's about, right? It's a cartel member who transitioned. If I'm not mistaken, it's a musical. It also stars Zoe Saldaña, who I'm a big fan of, who's in Lioness. And it's been pipped for loads of awards in the Oscars. They're already cleaned up already at the Golden Globe, so people are just assuming at the Oscars, especially with the lead actress being a trans person, they're going to absolutely clean up. Well, for whatever reason, I don't know why, please don't ask me why, but for whatever reason, the main lead, the main actor of Emilia Perez decided to just randomly attack this Brazilian person called Fernanda Torres. So, Fernanda Torres, whoever that is, apologies, I don't know who these people are because I'm from England, I'm not from Brazil, so Brazilian people, please be kind to me. I'm just reporting what I see here. Karla Sofía Gascón decided to insult somebody called Fernanda Torres. Fernanda Torres is beloved, I'm assuming, in Brazil, and this account called 21 Met Gala, which is allegedly, I didn't know, I usually use it for like fashion stuff and, you know, runway with stuff and everything associated with, like, you know, red carpet outfits and shit, clips and pictures. The person who runs this account is Brazilian. This Karla Sofía Gascón insults a Brazilian person. 21 Met Gala goes out of their way to destroy Karla Sofía Gascón's career. Destroy it. In a series of tweets over like 24 hours. So now Karla Gascón has gone from deleting her flipping social media, posting a flipping statement, retracting that statement, posting another statement, being fucking unfollowed by a bunch of celebrities and famous people, and now it's looking like the Oscar situation has been completely blown up, and now most likely they won't win any awards because of this controversy that happened. So let me go through what exactly happened and read you the series of tweets that surfaced, because that's what 21 Met Gala did to counter this lady. They went through her social media and basically found so many very disparaging tweets by this lady that essentially make you question why this person never deleted them in the first place. Like, if you have a dicey Twitter history and you're starring in this crazy, really amazing movie that's probably pipped to win a lot of awards, surely you would go through and just delete all of them. But for some reason, she didn't delete them. And now the Oscar nominations or the Oscar wins that they were guaranteed to probably get because of the subject matter of the movie is now in jeopardy. So let me read through what happened. This is courtesy of Met Gala. 21 Met Gala on social media says as follows. Karla Sofía Gascón might face a 1-year suspension for the first time offence and permanent expulsion for subsequent violations according to the Academy regulations. And why? The reason why is this. Sofía Gascón violated the Academy Oscars rules by accusing nominee Fernanda Torres of spreading hate against her and the cast of Emilia Perez during a Brazilian interview. So let me play the clip of this person insulting Fernanda Torres. Absolutely crazy, man, how this is played out.
LGBT, hay personas maravillosas.
Okay, cool. It's in Spanish. So let me read the translation here. Let me just read the translation because it's in Spanish actually. So the translation says as follows. Karla Sofía Gascón says this about Fernanda Torres. There are wonderful LGBTQ plus people, but surely there are also those who are not. We are, likely any other person, human beings with the same rights and same obligations that we should all have. Personally, I think Fernanda Torres is a wonderful woman, apart from being an incredible actress who deserves all the recognition in the world. I'm sure she has done a great job. I personally haven't seen it. I'm sorry, because I hadn't had time to watch anyone's work in this film production. But I believe she's a woman who deserves any kind of recognition in this world. I'm very happy for her Golden Globe. This is not a competition. It's simply about some people liking your work more or less, and that's it. If she wins, great. If I win, great as well. What I really don't like is that there's a social media team working around these people trying to discredit the work of others, like mine or the movies. That leads nowhere. To highlight one person's work, you don't need to bring others down. So far, so good. No one has ever seen me speak badly about Fernanda Torres and her movie. However, I do see many people in Fernanda Torres' circle speaking badly about me and Emilia Perez. I think that says more about them and their film than about mine. So far, it seems kind of cordial, makes a lot of sense. She's annoyed that a fellow nominee is trashing her and her nomination, so decide to do that. Okay, cool. Let's continue. What caused the outrage? What caused the outrage? Let's go past some celeb pictures and shit. And we're going to get to what caused the outrage. A big up 21 Met Gala for absolutely going ham and literally destroying this person's career over a series of tweets. So here we go. Sofía Gascón, star of Emilia Perez, is facing backlash over resurfaced social media posts from 2020 to 2021, in which she appears to share controversial views on Muslims, George Floyd, and diversity at the Oscars. Many of the posts were deleted on Thursday. So here's some of the tweets of what she said in 2020 to 2022. This is a tweet from 2020. This is a tweet from the 23rd of the 11th, 2020. Sorry, is it just my impression, or are there more and more Muslims in Spain? Every time I go pick up my daughter from school, there are more and more women with their hair covered and their skirts down to their heels. Maybe next year, instead of English, we'll have to teach Arabic. What a lamb. Shrug emoji. Yo, she's coming now, not even taking the piss. And I bet you it sounds way funnier in Spanish. I bet you it sounds way funnier in fucking Spanish, right? Let's continue. It's absolutely insane, bro. She's like the fucking Latin version of Caitlyn Jenner, basically, you know? I'm a traditional kind of girl, you know? That's what she is. It continues. Karla Gascón has faced backlash after several resurfaced tweets, now deleted. More deleted tweets from Karla Sofía Gascón. This one says, these fucking morons, children of slavers, of immigrants, of tribal murderers, are ignorant of history. They throw stones at the statue of a man who was looking for a route to the Indies, guilty only of the fact that these people were born there. So what? Is she talking about the statue? Is she talking about Christopher Columbus? Yo. Okay, next one. How many more times will history have to expel Moors from Spain? We have not yet realized that this threat of civilization means, which constantly attacks the freedom and the coherence of individual. It's not about racism, it's about Islam. Could you imagine having this level of hatred inside of you when you're trans? Could you imagine having this level of hatred inside of you seeping through your veins when you yourself have probably been persecuted and hurt, or people from your community have been persecuted, hurt, sometimes murdered, right? Just for living their lives, just for kind of being themselves, just for, just for trying to live in their truth. And here you are spewing all this hatred on social media. And it's only a couple years ago. This isn't like, these aren't tweets of hers when she was 15, 13, 14. These are tweets when she was like in her late 30s, you know? This is... Yo, she absolutely torpedoed her career here. More tweets, old tweets. Islam is becoming a hotbed of infection for humanity that urgently needs to be cured. Another one. Okay, we saw that one already, right? Jesus Christ, bro. Jesus Christ. The pictures they're posting as well, it just doesn't stop getting, it gets worse and worse. Just when you think it's gonna get, a little bit better, it gets worse. It continues. Let's see. Sofía Gascón shared her thoughts on the 2021 Oscars at the first ceremony held after COVID. More and more Oscars are looking like a ceremony for independent protest films. I didn't know if I was watching an Afro-Korean festival, Afro-Korean, a Black Lives Matter demonstration, or an 8M. Apart from that, an ugly, ugly gala. She called the 2021 Oscars a Afro-Korean festival. Yo, what won I want to know what actually won the Oscar in 2021 anyway. Oscar winners 2021. Who won? Because that's crazy. Afro-Korean festival. Who won? Let's see. Who won? Just give me a list of winners, please. 2021. Big up The Guardian. Let's check, because I want to see what she was talking about. Afro-Korean festival. Best original screenplay went to Promising Young Woman. Best adapted screenplay went to The Father. Best international feature went to Another Round. Best actor went to Daniel Kaluuya in Judas and the Black Messiah. Oh, okay. She saw Daniel Kaluuya and she went crazy. She saw Daniel Kaluuya on the fucking big screen and thought, fuck off. All right, cool. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom won Best Hair and Makeup. Let's see. Best Director went to Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. What else happened here? Best Documentary went to Colette. And that's it. What Best Actress in Supporting Role went to Mini Mari, someone called Yoon Young Jung. And okay, cool. We get it. She saw Daniel Kaluuya and she didn't like the look of his face. So she thought, you know what? I'm gonna insult him. I'm gonna give him a couple of racist barbs, right? She saw Daniel Kaluuya and thought, fuck that guy. All right, no problem. Let's continue. Nice bit of racism there. Karla Sofía posted a lengthy thread on X about George Floyd days after he was killed. Okay, here we go. This is a George Floyd tweet now. Yo, I really think that very few people ever cared about George Floyd. A drug addict swindler, but his death was served to once again demonstrate that there are people who still consider black people to be monkeys without rights and consider policemen to be assassins. They're all wrong. Hold on. So are black people not monkeys, or are they monkeys? What does she mean? So policemen aren't assassins and black people are monkeys. Okay, cool, great. Thank you, Karla Sofía Gascón. You sound like a very, very, very lovely person. It continues. Let's see. We'll see some more. You see AP Rocky coming out of court. We'll see some more tweets from her. Sofía Gascón shared anti-vax tweet. Okay, this is where I draw the line. It's one thing she's insulting Muslims. It's one thing she's insulting Islam. It's one thing she's insulting black people. It's one thing if she's insulting policemen and women. But where I'll draw the line is her insulting and taking a piss out of people who got the vaccine. Sharing anti-vaccine sentiment is where I draw the line. Racism, you know, I could let that slide. Islamophobia, I could let that slide. But being anti-vax, I take a stand. I draw a line. She says as follows on August 19th, 2020. The Chinese vaccine, aside from the mandatory chip, comes with 2 spring rolls. Oh my God. Oh my God. The Chinese vaccine, aside from mandatory chip, comes with 2 spring rolls, a waving cat, 2 plastic flowers, a collapsible lantern, and 3 phone lines. And €1 for your first controlled purchase. And she put an emoji of the Chinese flag, the Chinese gate thing, and a bowl of noodles. Yo, this woman is like as a DSP would say, this woman is like an equal opportunities offender, innit? Everybody gets it. Islam, black, white, Chinese, anti-vax, no, vaccinated. Fucking hell. And this was tweeted out in 2020 and she didn't think to delete it. You didn't think to delete it when you were in that big movie, Emilia Perez. You did not think to delete your tweets. This is only 2020, you know. She is nuts, bruh. God damn. It continues. Let's see some more stuff here. Oh my God, this is absolutely wild. I can't believe what I'm seeing and hearing. Oh wow, Lady Gaga, Bad Bunny, and Miley Cyrus are set to perform an SNL 50th anniversary concert in New York. That's a sick fucking lineup, to be fair. Let's continue. Let's see more from Sofía Gascón. Here we go. Sofía Gascón. Karla Sofía Gascón on May 6, 2020 made a comment considered fatphobic about singer Adele. COVID passed and she went overboard with the sleeves, or she went under the knife and they didn't remove the skin from her arms. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, that's really rude and offensive, but I never thought about that. That's actually a really good point. I never thought about like the point that Adele does like to wear those type of tops, innit, that only show her, like, you know, her arms from her elbow down, but she doesn't really like to show the bingo. Even though she lost a bunch of weight, you don't really see a lot of like bicep, you know. We don't really see much pictures of Adele's biceps, let's just say. That's amazing, bro. This woman is insulting everybody. Even when they're not in the news, she tagged, oh my God, she actually tagged Adele. She actually added her. She didn't just post it, she added her as well. Fucking hell, bro. Imagine Adele's face when she translated that. Can you imagine Adele's face when she clicked translate? She thought, oh my God, that's amazing. Look at this trans person, you know, celebrating me and giving me my flowers. And then she presses translate. Oh. Sofía Gascón on August 11, 2019 expressed homophobic remarks towards Miley Cyrus. A trans person being homophobic. I love this world. I love this world. Here she says, oh, poor Liam. This is what happens when people from National Front for the Family force you to marry a bigot. She's calling other people a bigot. She's calling other people bigoted with her views. Amazing. Karla Sofía Gascón, you are a legend for all the wrong reasons. Oh, poor Liam. This is what happens when people from National Front for the Family force you to marry a bigot. I hope he embraces the faith of Yael Yati Como, or whatever it's called, as soon as possible. Although with this horrible, unnatural, evil lesbian perversion, she's going to hell. Being trans and calling a lesbian evil, unnatural, or calling lesbians evil, unnatural, and what? Perversion, and say they're going to hell. Nah, this woman, this woman might be better than Caitlyn Jenner. This might be better than the Caitlyn Jenner, you know, I'm a traditional kind of girl. This might be better than that quote. I don't believe in flipping gay marriage. This might be better than that fucking Caitlyn Jenner, I don't believe in gay marriage quote. I swear to God, this must be better. You are trans, madame. How can you have such insane views? Like, where is the allyship? Where is it? Nowhere to be found. God damn it, this is incredible. This is incredible, bro. And this is in 2019 tweet. Another tweet from her. She doesn't stop. Everyone's getting it. Karla Sofía Gascón on January 29, 2021 commented on Brazilian influencer Gona Moura, who passed away due to complications for COVID-19. She surely cursed Bolsonaro, former president, a few times before passing away. Poor ignorant woman, a counterpart to Patti Navida. I don't know who Patti Navida is, but I'm sure that's some sort of insult. Jesus Christ. This woman dies and she insults her and says it's all her fault. Okay. Emilia Perez, star of Oscar nominee, has issued... Okay, and here's her first apology. Her first apology that came out, right? On the 31st. And I think she's had a few since then. I want to acknowledge the conversation. The conversation, you know. There's no conversation, madam. People just calling... People are calling for your head. I want to acknowledge the conversation around my past social media posts that have caused hurt. As someone in the marginalized community, I know this suffering all too well. Oh, victim already. I'm deeply sorry to those who have caused pain. All my life I have fought for a better world. Again, you're a victim, you're a hero. Pick one. You're a victim, hero, or bully. Pick one. I believe light will always triumph over darkness. You are the darkness, madam. This is a gaslighting masterclass. I believe light will triumph over the darkness. You are the darkness. You're the one that's saying being lesbian is a perversion. Like, you're the one being a flagrant fucking Islamophobe. You're the fucking darkness. What? This lady is absolutely insane. Look at Hunter Schafer looking. Let's continue. Olivia Rodrigo. Let's continue. Billie Eilish. Let's continue. Justin Bieber. Nah. Some more. Karla Sofía Gascón has accused of making racist and derogatory remarks about BTS. So the apology came and Met Gala didn't stop. She apologized and Met Gala was like, all right, cool. Here's another old tweet. Here's another that Met Gala didn't stop, bro. Honestly, you insult a Brazilian, you gotta be careful on social media. Brazilians on social media, they don't play, bro. She insulted one person on social media. Insulted one person on social media, and the Brazilian account 21 Met Gala said, okay, cool, we're gonna end your career. Here's an old tweet. Here's an old tweet. Here's an old tweet. Another one. I'm so fed up of that. Every time I search for important news on Twitter, I come across 200 posts about those fucking Chinese BTS members, or 200 of them touching themselves. I think she might hate Asian people more than she hates fellow gay people or fellow LGBTQ plus members. I swear. She might hate Asians more than she hates people from her own community. I swear, it's so wild. And by the way, you know, BTS aren't Asian, they're Korean, but still, this is wildly offensive. She does not give a fuck. It continues. Oh, Sabrina Carpenter, Miley Cyrus, yes please. We don't care about Cardi B. Another one. Sofía Gascón deactivated her Twitter account after users uncovered old tweets in which she perceived to be making prejudiced comments. So the Twitter account got deleted on the 31st, right? Cool. Doesn't stop. It didn't stop Met Gala though. Met Gala kept on going on. A fellow actress, Lily Gladstone, unfollowed Karla Sofía Gascón. The two have been connected since Cannes Film Festival, where Gaston was part of the jury. So Lily Gladstone unfollowed Karla Sofía Gascón. The official Instagram account unfollowed Karla Sofía Gascón, which is brutal. That's similar to what happened to academics. You know what I mean? When fucking Steak unfollowed them on social media. It continues. Karla Sofía Gascón tells the Hollywood Reporter why she deleted her Twitter account, right? So trying desperately to save herself. Why she deleted her Twitter account? I'm sorry, but I can no longer allow this campaign of hate and misinformation to affect me and my family. So at their request, I'm closing my account. Yeah, all right. You didn't think about your family when you were spewing all that hatred, were you? You didn't think about those people's families, right? That you were fucking attacking. Absolutely crazy. It continues. Oh, Olivia Rodrigo looking scrumptious there. It continues. We got Shawn Mendes there doing his little fucking walk. Bless him. The Muslim Public Affairs Council, which I didn't even know was a thing, called MPAC, condemned Karla Sofía Gascón after resurfaced tweets. They said, deleted or not, these tweets are hurtful, offensive, shocking, and most especially coming from somebody who's a member of another vulnerable community. Exactly. Muslims are part of every community, including the transgender community. European values. Does she mean the ones that led to the Holocaust? She needs... Okay, that's a bit of a stretch, by the way. Come on, MPAC. If someone says they believe in European values, it doesn't mean they fucking love Hitler. That's a fucking crazy jump. Oh my God, I adhere to European values. I'm in love with European values. I try to live my life with European values in mind. And suddenly you're a fucking Nazi. I don't think it works that way, but anyway, let's continue. Does she mean that the ones that led to the Holocaust? She needs to immerse herself in Islamic history. When Europe was in the Dark Age, Muslims were busy discovering math, science, and medical equipment. Learn, woman. All right, cool. Let's also relax. Let's also relax with that, right? This sounds like a fucking statement of like we were kings. Let's relax, MPAC. Let's relax. But we can continue. Yeah, look at his title from Variety. Why didn't Netflix check Karla Sofía Gascón's Twitter history? Because she's from a protected class. That's the thing. That's the problem I have nowadays. I think I've said it before. I personally think, right, we should fucking get rid and just do away with this like mollycoddling and praising of people when they come out, like praising of people because they, you know, are a member of the LGBTQ plus community in general. No one cares now. No one gives a fuck. If you have those prehistoric homophobic opinions, you're going to get laughed out of society. You're going to get laughed out of the public square. People are going to not want to talk to you, not fuck with you anyway. So you just keep it to yourself. No one gives a fuck. No one cares. It's accepted in most places, especially in the Western world. So putting people over that community on pedestals is what causes this issue. We should all be treated equally based on the strength of our character, not on who we fucking fuck or don't fuck. That's not important. So because everyone's so busy fucking trying to act like they're an ally, trying to act like they're fucking down with the cause, you don't check their Twitter history because you want to be nice, and then look what happens. You've got a woman who's, you know, a trans person who's essentially worse than any fucking super hardcore right-winger person in a long time with what they're saying. You think, which is always surprising, by the way. I always find that really interesting when you find somebody who's from a marginalized group and they tend to have very conservative views of the world. You're like, huh, interesting. I find people really interesting. It's like, huh, you don't believe in gay marriage, but you're a raging homosexual. How did you get here? You know, I'm curious to know that. How did you get here? How did you end up in this place? Why is your, like, especially like, you know, you go to gay parties, you go to gay pride, but you tend to believe in a nuclear family and you don't believe in gay marriage. Like, how did that happen? Please tell me how that happened. It continues. Zoe Saldaña talks about the controversial post of her Emilia Perez co-star Karla Sofía Gascón. Now, don't get me wrong. This statement by Zoe Saldaña sounds incredibly selfish and incredibly self-absorbed, but give her some grace. Zoe Saldaña has never won an Oscar. I don't think she's even been nominated. She won her first Golden Globe, her first award in a long time at the Golden Globes the other day. And it's for a role that I think is a bit shit. She probably deserved it for other things she did in the past. But this was going to be her real opportunity to maybe win an Oscar. This might have been an opportunity to maybe win an Oscar. So I understand why she sounds so selfish, so pissed off in this statement. I get it. But it's going to come across a little bit nuts if you hear it. So here's Zoe Saldaña on the controversial post of her Emilia Perez co-star, Karla Sofía Gascón. It makes me really sad because I don't support it. And I don't have any tolerance for any negative rhetoric towards people of any group. I can only attest to the experience I had with each and every other individual that is a part of this film. And my experience and my interactions of them was about inclusivity, collaboration, racial, cultural, and gender equity. And it just saddens me. It saddens me that we're having to face this setback right now. She won that Oscar real bad, and now the chances of them winning one is gone. But I'm happy that you're all here and that you're all still showing up for Emilia, because the message that this film has is so powerful, and the change that it can bring forward for communities that are marginalized day in, day out is important. I don't think so. That movie looks like pure and utter dog shit, and I don't really think movies can do that in general anyway. Let's just relax. Movies are meant to be about entertainment. They're meant to be about tapping out from the real world. I don't think they're gonna change anything in the real world. Let's be honest. But hey, I could be wrong. And all that I can attest is that all of us that came together to tell this story, we came together for love and for respect and curiosity. And we'll continue to spread that message. That's all we can say right now. Thank you. She is pissed off. She is pissed off. And rightfully so. Because her co-star has essentially fucked her opportunity to get an Oscar. Maybe she was never going to win it, but there was a chance she would have won it. And now Karla Sofía Gascón has fucked it because she seems like a very not nice person to people who don't look like her. Karla Sofía Gascón doesn't seem to be the nicest person when it comes to dealing with or treating or talking about people who don't look like her, which is interesting. Another one. Let's continue. 21 Met Gala absolutely destroyed this person's career. It's absolutely crazy to see this play out in real time. So let's continue. I think there's one more to show. I think there's a couple more. Yeah, there we go. Karla Sofía Gascón posted a lengthy response on Instagram after facing backlash for offensive social media post. In her defense, she stated, okay, this is another defense. She's been apologizing for the past 48 hours, it feels like, right? Here's another apology for your head top from Karla Sofía Gascón. Let's see. Anyone who knows me, whenever anyone starts off a sentence like this, I immediately tap out and start laughing. Because I think this is the most irrelevant nonsense sentence that's ever existed. Anyone that knows me. Bitch, no one knows you. We don't know you. Even the people that know you don't know you. Just say your statement. It's just a nonsense filler phrase. Anyone that knows me. Nobody knows you. Anyone that knows me knows that I am not a racist. You'll be surprised when you find out that one of the most important people in my current life and that I love is Muslim. She went for that one. My best friend is Muslim. My boyfriend is from Morocco. I like Egyptian boys. How can I be in Islam for? How can I be? Oh, this person's fucking nuts, bro. The person that I love in my current life is a fucking Muslim. I can't hate Muslims. How can I? I only let Muslims blow my back out. Not Christians, not Sikhs, not Catholics, only Muslims. So how can I be an Islamophobe? Oh my God. And yeah, that is what happened with Karla Sofía Gascón. Grand entrance, grand closure. They thought they were going to clean up at the Oscars. And from what I've heard, the movie is shit anyway. So maybe this is justice. Because the movie allegedly is terrible. So maybe this is justice that this movie, this musical that's garbage, that doesn't seem to have a coherent plot, that has some detestable actors in it, that has fucking, what's her name? Selena Gomez talking very, talking in some very questionable Spanish, maybe it's a good thing that didn't win. Maybe it's a good thing. So, you know, RIP to Karla Sofía Gascón's career for now. Maybe she'll put it out and save it, but it looks like it's over. It looks like it's over. It looks like it's over. Absolutely wild scene. And obviously, continuing on with the wild scenes, so Karla Sofía Gascón's co-star in the movie, Selena Gomez, decided to jump on social media and start crying about the deportation of Mexicans. Obviously, you know, with Trump coming in place and ICE kind of ramping up some of their deportations, she decided to get on camera, get on her social media, and demonstrate to us how much she cares about her fellow people. And decided to just start crying. And the funny thing about this crying video for me, is that she kind of quickly, she's not quickly glancing, but she's glancing at the chat. She's glancing at the comments the entire time she's crying. So I'm sat here thinking, are you crying or are these crocodile tears? Because the entire time she's looking at the comments or herself. Even she's on live stream and I think she's looking at herself. She's looking at herself while she's recording herself crying. That's why I've said it from time, and I'll always stand by it. If you cry into your camera, you have a mental illness. You need help. People who cry into their camera are not well. You're not normal. No normal person is upset enough to pull their phone out, unlock it with their Face ID, unlock it with their PIN code, go to Instagram, tap it, click fucking video. Like, that's too many things to then start crying. No, you have a mental illness. You're not well. And I have the same feeling potentially about Selena Gomez. Oh, she could just be happy. This is her being happy that her fellow people are leaving, so there's more space for her to do her thing. Who knows?
I just want to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything.
Honestly, she's so fucking hilarious. Like, what the fuck is this? Honestly, what the fuck is this? Like, this performative nonsense is so fucking funny. Like, who is she trying to convince? Like, is this like an audition? Maybe it's an audition. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what we're missing. Maybe this is an audition and she's trying to show her range by crying on cue at will vis-a-vis this very important topic, vis-a-vis a very important subject, vis-a-vis a very sensitive subject. That's what she's trying to cry. Maybe it's what she's actually doing. She sees what's happening with Karla Sofía Gascón and she's like, you know what? That movie's fucked. Let me try and put, you know, a little bat signal out to show people my range so I can get a role for another movie coming up. Because this is insane, bro. Like, there's something wrong with this person. Honestly. Every other day I feel like I see on social, like, I'm quitting, I'm leaving, I'm not going to be back here again. Like, I don't know, man. Just go hang out with fucking Benny Blanco, man. Like, why are you doing this to us? Why are you doing this yourself, even? It's so embarrassing. It's so utterly embarrassing. But obviously everybody on the internet laughed her out of the flipping place, mocked her and shit, and then she decided to delete the post and kind of blame, like, basically blame the public for laughing. It's a real masterclass in gaslighting, by the way. Not the best gaslighting, because everyone obviously was like, you know, go fuck yourself. But Selena Gomez decided, after everybody clowned her for, you know, these fake crocodile tears over Mexicans being deported, she then decided to get on social media and try and play victim. Try and play victim when you try to use such a sensitive topic to kind of bring more attention to yourself. Because that's what it was, right? It was pure selfishness. Like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. So she deleted the video soon after and said the following: apparently it's not okay to show empathy for others. Apparently it's not okay to show empathy for people. No, it's just weird to start crying on camera about something like this. People just don't believe you. They don't believe you're sincere. They think you're full of shit. They think you're doing it just to get more attention on yourself. That's basically why people are saying that it's not okay. Or they're not even not okay. They're just laughing at you. And she couldn't handle it. She could not handle it in the slightest, which I thought was absolutely fucking incredibly hilarious. So big up Selena Gomez talking about bringing up people, I don't know. I'm kind of liking. I'm not gonna lie. I am kind of liking ASAP Rocky's approach to this gun trial he's on. So ASAP Rocky is currently in court at the moment, facing 24 years in prison after rejecting a plea deal because of an alleged incident that occurred with him and a former ASAP Mob, or an original ASAP Mob's member, called ASAP Relly, who accused ASAP Rocky of shooting him during a little ruckus, a little fisticuffs they had one time. And it seems like he's not hiding. He's going out with Rihanna to restaurants and shit after. Rihanna's in court supporting him and stuff. So I wonder if Rocky's lawyer has given him assurances that, because he's, Rocky's lawyer at the moment is destroying Relly on the stand, absolutely destroying him during the cross-examination. He's making Relly look like a liar. He's making Relly look like he's an opportunist, a money grabber, whatever. He's making him look horrible on the stand. So it's looking like Rocky was right to reject a plea deal because he knows his friend better than we know Relly. And I think he knew that Relly is a bit of a, he's easy to rattle. He might not be the most intelligent person in the world. I don't think he can read or write that well, personally, from how he's talking, because he seems to really struggle to comprehend simple questions. He needs people to clarify or repeat questions 2 to 3 times before he kind of understands it. So I think Rocky was aware of all of this. He was aware like his friend is a bit of a dum-dum. So that's why he probably said, look, I'm going to reject a plea deal and roll the dice. Because even though the plea deal was only 6 months in prison, v 20 years if he goes to court, I think the plea deal would have still required him to admit to one of the offenses, which would then have him be a felon, which I think would have permanently, just affected his ability to make money. And someone like Rocky, he's very brand friendly, right? He's like a Travis Scott. He can't afford to have a blemish on his record because that, basically prevents him from being sponsored by a fucking chewing gum company and shit. So he's really rolling the dice. This is really risky, high stakes game, but his approach to it isn't bad. He's not hiding like Tory maybe did. He's on the front foot, rejecting the plea deal. His lawyer looks like he's top notch as well. It looks like he's got good defense. Kind of, compared to Relly, like Travis, Rocky's lawyer seems to be on the money. I'm not sure what Relly's lawyer is doing. I'm not because Relly seems like he wasn't even aware he was going to be asked questions in that manner. Like his lawyer didn't even warn him. Oh, basically, Rocky's lawyer is going to be really hard. He's going to really attack you. Like he didn't get warned. It feels like he went in there completely blind, thinking that Rocky's lawyer was going to be the same as his lawyer in terms of asking him softball questions, and it seems to have not been working out. So I think this approach that they're doing, and they've been doing it for a while, by the way. This has been a long game. I feel like Rocky and Rihanna have been doing this like lovey-dovey, we're the perfect husband and wife, not husband and wife with our kids sort of thing for a while. They've been playing the PR game for ages, and I feel like it's been because of this court case. Like they've been, because even before, like Rihanna's never really been overly PDA-ish. I feel like she kind of keeps that behind closed doors. But I feel like I've seen more pictures of Rihanna swapping saliva with Rocky outside than I've ever seen in her dating history. And usually she's kind of low key. So I feel like it's all been on purpose. Like pictures of Rocky fucking throwing his kids up in the air, looking like an amazing dad, hanging out, walking down the street in New York with his kids on his shoulders. I think this was all purposely done to basically make him seem, or to make him look away. And now it's obviously paying dividends because his lawyer is absolutely chewing Relly apart. So this might be an approach. I wonder if other celebs will use this as an approach going forward if they get involved in big scandals, to just, instead of like hiding, let's put out an image, because a lot of these celebrities know they've got lawsuits or court cases pending way before we do in the public and shit. There's an issue going on at the moment with like a TDE executive, and allegedly academics got on stream and said he was told in December about this. He was told in December that someone at TDE was getting sued for something related to some sexual assault thing, but he decided to pass on it, which I don't believe him anyway. But still, let's assume he's telling the truth. That that is basically that person probably knew that they were going to get sued maybe in October, November. So if that's the case, you probably should use that heads up to your advantage and step outside. Start handing out turkeys during Christmas. Start doing toy drives. Start hoping out in homeless shelters. Like start doing what Lil Durk did. Before Lil Durk got wrapped up on his Rico, start doing all that shit. Get religious, denounce violence, change your name, start putting out gospel records. Just do that sort of stuff in the beginning, because you never know, it could pay dividends somewhere down the line. It really could pay dividends, and I think it's going to work for Rocky. I've got a feeling he's going to get off on this. Because that Relly guy is absolutely getting destroyed on the stand. He's absolutely getting destroyed. Next one I want to talk about here is regarding Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes, former NBA player, former legend, out here, you know, running down on people, flipping cheating on his missus, is allegedly out here cheating on his new missus. She posted the following on social media. Her name is Anan, I don't know. Doesn't matter what her fucking name is. Matt Barnes' fiance posted the following. Why, Matt? 8 different women in January? Broken heart emoji. In her story, she said, I once loved a man so much that I was fixing him while he was breaking me. So, Matt Barnes' fiance is alleging he cheated on her with 8 different women in January alone. January alone. January alone. That is wild. But, controversial opinion. I think there needs to be some adult conversations, grown-up conversations to be had with women, in particular, who decide to date men like Matt Barnes. If you're aiming to be with guys who are formerly in the NBA, 1%, you know, let's say they're the fucking 1%ers, right? In terms of earning potential, in terms of celebrity, in terms of notoriety, right? You have to also be aware that it's going to be more than likely that they're going to have random women throwing themselves at their feet. So I think at this point, if you decide to hook up with somebody of a Matt Barnes level, you have to grow up and just accept that cheating is going to be a part of your relationship. If anything, you might as well just start communicating and start being open about, hey, let's just be safe about this. If you're going to do whatever, be safe. Don't bring it home. Don't disrespect me and shit. And then let it be what it is. Because expecting someone like Matt Barnes to be monogamous, it seems kind of dumb and foolharted, sorry. Because I'm a big believer in operating in the world as is, instead of kind of operating in a world in how I want it to be. And I think, unfortunately, these guys have proved it. A lot of these celebrities, a lot of these big guys have proved that they all seem to be really incapable of staying faithful. Especially if they have, you know, if they're kind of famous. It really seems to be very, very difficult to do so. Obviously, there are some exceptions. But, you know, exceptions exist in everything. But I think generally, there's been many, many stories of famous rich dudes, you know, with wives, with fucking fiancés, you know, baby mothers, stepping out and doing something mad. So I think at this point, if you're not going to be able to change a guy's behavior, which I think is near and impossible, especially for dudes, I don't know why it is, really, to be honest, but I think women have an easier time in turning down people if they're in a relationship. I think for guys, for whatever reason, I think there's a saying that goes like, guys are only as faithful as their options. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of that is true. There are some dudes that exist who are very admirable. The ones who I love are the ones the wife guys, right? Those wife guys are super, super, super amazing. And usually, wife guys are usually super good dudes in general. Wife guys, I feel like. The ones who are super committed to their partners, the ones that don't do any madness, and just, you know, are very respectful in that regard. And just love their partner and don't want to disrespect them in any kind of way. But I think the majority of guys, especially if you go run into any kind of money, they just don't have the ability to turn people down. And I don't know why that is. I've always wondered, like, why is it that women seem to find it easier to turn down advances of people approaching them in their relationship, but dudes seem to really struggle with it. Really struggle. You see some exceptions again on social media. I think I've seen some pretty decent ones. You know, especially that hot black girl that kind of interviews people in the supermarket, pulled up to one dude and he's like, "No, I've got a girlfriend," and kind of walked off quickly. But I think a lot of dudes in similar situations of Matt Barnes, if their inboxes are being flooded, because that's something that doesn't happen to a lot of guys. I think women maybe have a lot of practice with it when they're younger. Maybe that's my theory. Maybe my theory is because generally, no matter what you look like as a woman, you've probably got way more options than a guy equivalent of you. If you're fat, if you're ugly, you probably have way more options than a guy equivalent of you. So you get the opportunity to choose more than men do. Men have to go out and seek. So I guess if you're a famous dude, a good looking famous dude, if that, you probably going to get way more inbound requests than most guys have ever got in their entire life. So it probably might be harder for guys to turn down those inbound requests because they don't really have practice in turning down inbound requests, because most of the time you're outbound trying to attract somebody. Maybe that's the reason. Or maybe men are just pieces of shit. Maybe us heterosexual men are just absolute pieces of shit especially the black ones, especially the light-skinned ones, and they're just not to be trusted. If your guy has wavy hair at the top, if your guy looks kind of cute in the face, if your guy could look as good as you in drag, maybe you shouldn't approach him. If your guy has better legs than you, if your guy is maybe as sassy as you, if not sassier, maybe that is a warning sign. That's a red flag that this guy probably will cheat on you with 8 women in 1 month, because that is insane. Like, you know, maybe I'm just lazy, or maybe I just lack, you know, ambition. I just can't, like, who is he? How is he talking to these people? Where do you find 8 random women to talk to the point where you're fucking them all? Because I think, you know, it depends, because I think some women have a different criteria what they class as like cheating. But let's say he fucked all 8. Where is he? Like, if he's got a fiance, he might have a baby mom, he might have kids with her, or he might have his own kids, and he's balancing his podcast and whatever else he does. Where does he have the time to leave his family and meet these random 8 women who are probably grown women too? I don't think they're children. They're probably adults too. Where does he have the time to do that? You know, that's a really interesting side of it. It's like, wow, man. So this must mean he's meeting up these grown-ass women in like hotels or something. You know, here as he's passing through, they're pulling up and just, you know, he's beating them and then they're ducking, which is again something that's a privilege to somebody that's rich, famous, and good looking. Other dudes don't have that privilege. You have to kind of wine and dine. You have to talk, FaceTime, WhatsApp, texts, DMs. You have to go through that whole fucking song and dance, right? Maybe on a dating app. But when you're a rich and famous dude, you fucking skip and jump that process. It's just about beating. Crazy, isn't it? Like 8. And you got a fiance. 8. Okay, you might fall in 1 or 2. Cool. 8. That's insane, bro. Matt Barnes is a wild guy. But like I said, I wonder if these type of women who go for these type of dudes, I wonder if there's ever going to come a point where they say, you know what, I got to be careful what I wish for, because this guy's going to provide me with a G-Wagon. He's going to give me a couple Birkins. We're going to live in an amazing picturesque house. I'm going to have one of those showers that has like a bench in it. You know, girls like those showers with benches. We're going to have a his and her sink. I'm going to have a walk-in wardrobe. I'm going to have all the fucking shark boots I want. I'm going to get fucking mani pedis done continually. Brazilian waxes. My face card's going to be never declining. But I'm never sure where my guy is. And from time to time, he might come and smell like other women's perfume. You have to just grow up and accept that. Because if you want that lifestyle, it seems that these guys are incapable of keeping their dick in their pants and staying faithful. So if you want that lifestyle, it might be beneficial if you just accept it. It's crazy to say it, but this might be the evolution. It might have to get there, because these women accepting monogamy for these dudes, it seems naive. Well, she didn't stop there. The fiance did not stop there. She was so angry. She was so mad. She decided to post the tags of the 8 women that Matt Barnes cheated on her with. She posted their Instagram profiles on her Instagram and tagged them, and actually added details and dates on times of when she feels like the cheating occurred. So it's making me think, was she aware the cheating was occurring and she was noting it down? Which is brutal, right? Was this lady aware that she was getting cheated on the entire time and was making a note of it? Or did she discover it all in one go? Because ouch. It's bad enough finding it out and having to keep it to yourself to gather the information and to gather the proof. Ooh, so here it goes. Here's the post courtesy of Instagram. Broken heart emoji. Y'all can have him. And on the post, she says the follows. The first person she says Matt Barnes cheated on her with is a person called Masika. I've heard that name. I've heard of a Masika. She alleges that Matt Barnes cheated on her with Masika. Allegedly, she puts allegedly on there too, by the way, it's hilarious. Allegedly from Jan 18th to 19th on a Denver trip. Allegedly back on since September 2024. He also then a person called Autumn London. Allegedly her place on January 20th. So unless she states it happened in their places, all of this happened in her own house. Oh, 8 people in your own house. God damn it. Allegedly, she told me it's been going on for 6 years. Wow. 6 years. Most people don't even have relationships for that long. He's had a side piece for 6 years. Now, women are foul too, man. Women are evil too. Women, like, that's what I've always said. My quote, and I'm going to stand by it. The real enemy of men isn't women, it's other women. Knowingly being a side piece of somebody who you know is in a committed relationship is evil. Is evil. Evil. And I bet you this woman felt like good. She felt like she did something good by telling her, yeah, I'm going to come to you as a woman after 6 years and tell you Wagwan. It's like, bro, it's been 6. You might as well just keep it to yourself now. You might as well just unalive yourself. Don't tell me now. Don't think you're doing me a favor. Don't think you're noble. Don't think you have principles or morals because you told me after 6 years of him blowing your back out. Get out of here. The other person is called Portia Thomas, allegedly according to messages. Okay, so she doesn't know when it happened, but she saw the messages. Another one's called I Am Lils. Allegedly, Matt Barnes cheated on another person with her called Corinne Silverberg from the face of childhood hunger. Who the fuck is that? I want to know who that is. Who's that? Who's Corinne Silverberg? That sounds like a white person. Let's see who this white lady is. Who's that? Corinne Corinne Silverberg. Who the fuck is that? Is that a person? Is that her? Corinne Silverberg. The face, what's that? The face of childhood hunger. Who the fuck is that? The Face of Childhood Hunger is an American non-profit organization whose primary mission is to combat childhood hunger. Yo, he went to do a charity thing and ended up blowing the back out of one of the people that works there. She's a CEO of childhood. Oh my god. He went to a charity thing and ended up hooking up with the person that does this. Yo, Matt Barnes is absolutely lethal. Matt Barnes is lethal, bro. Lethal. Charity thing. You're banging the fucking person. Hold on, can you see it? Is that her there, right? I think. Where is it? Vivian, Corinne, there we go. Corinne Silverberg. Is the profile gone? She deleted it? Oh, she's still here. Yeah, her profile's gone. She took down her profile. Her profile's been taken down. But Jesus Christ, Matt Barnes, bro. You smashed the CEO of childhood hunger. Is that her, right? That's the lady there. Matt Barnes is fucking lethal. Matt Barnes is lethal. The other person is it's Ashley Lord, allegedly currently does our car insurance. Bloody hell. Another one is I Am the Prophet Type, allegedly according to messages, and someone called Haley Camden, allegedly according to messages. Wow. Bloody hell, man. Big up Matt Barnes. He's probably having a fucking rough weekend, by the way. Rough weekend. To say he's in the doghouse is an understatement. I'll be curious to see if he wins her back. If he's able to win her back, this lady's a dum-dum, you know? Because you made all this big song and dance, you put him on blast, you put these women, you know, in the line of fucking fire too. They're now gonna be harassed and trolled. I think some people got at that Corinne lady. They've destroyed her already. So yeah, you know, let's see if Matt Barnes can get his wife back. Let's see if he can get his wife back. It's probably unlikely considering what happened. Next on the list, we have to talk a little bit about this. Israel Adesanya unfortunately lost to Imavov earlier on today. I saw the knockout. I didn't watch the entire fight, but I think it happened around the second round. A little bit unfortunate how he lost, because if I'm not mistaken, he got poked in the eye, but then to be like a tough guy, he didn't want to take the 10th count to clear his eye. And then when he went back to fight, Imavov hit him with a right, which I think was the right landed on his left hand side of his cheek, which I think was the eye that got poked. So he couldn't see, you know, you couldn't see that right hand. That's the really sad thing. So I think that might happen. I'm not too sure. I haven't watched the replays, but I think that's what happened. I think when he stood and denied the 10 count because he got eye poked, if I can scan through here, Because as you can see here, they're facing off in the start of the second round, right? Oops, let me pause it. And as Israel Adesanya goes to punch or to jab Imavov in the chest, Imavov, you know, kind of pushes his hands forward and sticks his entire finger in Israel Adesanya's eye socket. And obviously he gets poked in the eye. So he's got time to, you know, gather himself. He doesn't want to gather himself. He does a tough guy thing and instantly tries to fight again and then gets clapped with the right hand. So I'm not too sure if he lost because of this or if he lost because he's just old. And that's a really sad thing. UFC is so brutal. Your favorite fighters, you watch them go from hero, you watch them go from unknown to hero, and then over the years, if they don't retire, they definitely end up going out on the whimper. That's the real brutal side of the sport. If they're competing at the highest level and they're fit and they're able to go, they usually go out of a whimper. And it usually happens so quickly. It feels like just the other day, we saw Israel Adesanya beating fucking, you know, Piera. And now all of a sudden he's on a what? 3-loss streak? But for me, being a big Israel Adesanya fan, I don't think he's ever been the same since that Sean Strickland fight. I think since that Sean Strickland fight, I don't think he's ever been the same. That fight was so, even as a fan of his, was so confusing, was so disorientating, maybe even more than the loss against fucking DDP. Because I think DDP's greatness is kind of underestimated because he's got such a weird, goofy, unorthodox style. But I think the Strickland thing, I think most people would have thought that Israel Adesanya was going to fucking destroy Strickland. And Strickland just gave him a boxing masterclass, right? Absolutely boxed his head off. And it was so frustrating to watch, like the constant pressure from Strickland. Like it was fucking, you know, it was suffocating. As a fan of Israel, it was suffocating to see how he was getting absolutely pummeled by Sean Strickland. So I'm wondering if this is to do with the eye poke or age or both. But the way he got clapped so quickly after this eye poke is just hurting my soul. And again, like I said, like UFC is a brutal sport, man, at the top level. Like they don't play no games, bro. They don't play no games. 1 minute you're the hero, next minute you're on a 3-loss streak against a guy many people thought Israel could have probably beat comfortably. Not comfortably, but beat pretty well considering. Imavov is great. I rate him. But I didn't think he was going to fucking destroy Israel the way he destroyed him. And as he comes in, you know, the referee says go. He comes in and immediately hits him with the right hand. Bang! And completely, you know, moves his face the other way. And then Israel backs up into the cage. No, sorry. Israel goes for a kiss to the body. Imavov grabs his leg. He steadies himself again. He's kind of off balance. He steadies himself. His hands are down. And then as he's kind of circling to the left hand side or to his left, I think Imavov comes in with a right hand, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he goes for I guess he's going for another body kick, but his left hand is down. Imavov sees that gap and then pounces and hits him with the right. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. As he's steadying himself, as Israel's steadying himself, Imavov gives him no time and immediately breaks his, I forgot what it's called, what fighters do now, where they put their hands up and kind of like to pat you away. He breaks through that and hits him with the right hand to his left hand side of his cheek, and that completely disorientates Israel. But again, I think that eye poke is probably the reason. I personally think so. I think that eye poke, you couldn't see that right hand coming, and then obviously the Imavov broke through and smashed him with the right hand, and then Israel went tumbling against the side of the octagon, and Imavov completely destroyed him against the fence. Completely destroyed him against the fence. Gave him no time to get up. Just blow after blow. Left hand, bang, into the fucking side of the octagon fence. Holds him down with the right hand, and then goes again with the left hand. Bang, and then ground and pound on the floor, and the referee ends it because Israel is scrunched up in the ball on the ground. I don't know, man. It breaks my fucking heart. Honestly, it breaks my fucking heart. Like, to see him like this. Like, look at him. Look at that screenshot. Look at that grab. If you're not seeing this, if you're not watching, where I've paused this video, Israel Adesanya is on his stomach, laying on the ground, and Imavov is on his back. On his back. And he's carrying his entire weight. And Imavov is just pounding him with blows to the back of his head, to the side of his head, as he's covering himself. And the referee stops it, thank God. And Imavov wins. And Israel is now on a 3 loss streak after being champion. Crazy, isn't it? How quickly UFC can change. Its game is so brutal. It's one of the that's why it's probably one of the best sports out there, because even though Dana White doesn't pay his fighters well and they're treated like shit by the UFC in terms of fighter pay, the greatest thing about the UFC is that they don't play with the matchmaking. They don't fuck around with the matchmaking. The best fight the best, unless you're John Jones. You know, you get favorable fucking matchups. But for the most part, or Paddy, you know, but for the most part, everybody gets thrown to the wolves. Everyone gets thrown to the wolves. You fight the young, hungry lions, and then if you come up missing, that's you out after a while, after a couple of losses. So it's kind of crazy. First of all, to see fucking Israel on the fight night, you know, it's fucking crazy in the first place. Yes, it's the main card. Yes, it's the fucking, you know, the marquee fucking event. But to see him on a fight night card is fucking brutal. And then to see him now getting beaten like this in the start of the second round, it hurts my soul, man. It freaking hurts my soul. But Israel, Adesanya, hold your head up, brother. Hold your head up. But the UFC is brutal that way. And sometimes when fucking father time comes a knocking, father time really, really comes a knocking. And it's absolutely brutal to see. I'm not going to lie, honestly. I don't know. I was watching that earlier and it absolutely broke every piece of my heart seeing how that fucking played out. Seeing how that freaking played out. Anyways, my friends, that has been it. That has been the Agostinho Zing Show number, is that 868? Thanks so much for tuning in. If it's your first time checking out the show, I appreciate you so much. So thank you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure, never a chore. Today, if you're listening to it via the audio side of the pod, you will hear my tune of the day. My tune of the day is by the none other, okay? None other than DJ Manny. The tune is called Backdrop. That'll be playing underneath my voice if you're listening to this play now. Backdrop by DJ Manny. Please check it out if you haven't already. The EP is out at the moment, actually, if I'm not mistaken. It just came out the other day. The EP is Circus. Great fucking electronic beats. If you're into the kind of stuff that I like to DJ and dance to, you'll definitely enjoy this one. So big up DJ Manny. The tune is called Backdrop. For those of you watching via the YouTube, please like the stream down below, like the podcast. I'll be greatly appreciated. Links and timestamps will be added later on, so keep an eye out for that one. And for those of you who are watching this live, random show is going to be coming up later on when I get back from the gym. But thank you for tuning in now. Appreciate all of you, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.